Today we can't bring you one of our beautiful locations. We're very sorry about that because it's raining crazily outside, so we have to shoot inside.
Yeah.
Well, before we start with the good, the bad, and the ugly, and this extended review of the week, we're gonna ask you to send your questions to AskRG with the hashtag. We're gonna do an AskRG as it requires.
Yeah, this week we're gonna do an AskRG. You know, of course you can ask us about anything you want, Real Madrid, non-Real Madrid related. Some, you know, you can get relatively personal, but not too personal, you know, but you can just test us.
Let's see what we're up for answering. But well, after saying that, let's go with the review. We're gonna start with the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good this week, Galacticos, let's not fool anybody. The good thing is Real Madrid is in the final of the Champions League. Yes.
Yeah, this is obviously, I mean, what, could it be anything else? After this week, we're in the final of the Champions League. I think anyone, if you had asked them at the beginning of the season, especially, let's say maybe not right in the beginning, but like a month and a half in.
Maybe even more, you know, in November, December, January.
Where do you think we would be at the end of this season? I don't think anyone would have said final of the Champions League. We will sack a manager in January, bring in a manager with very, very little experience and be in the final of the Champions League. That definitely has to be the good.
And yeah, we would be the first to say that we were not on that wagon. Like, we didn't believe it was gonna happen. And so yeah, that is definitely the good. You know, unexpected, and also, you know, unexpected or not, like, we're in the final of the Champions League.
Exactly.
You know, we have this chance to increase our legend. You know, be the first team that has 10. Now the first team, double digits. Let's say double digits, the first team to be able to get 11. Because a lot of people will say, and you might have heard this, is like, oh yeah, the first 5 Champions League of Real Madrid are black and white, the first 5 years, whatever. But you know, you want to take those 5 out, we still have maybe 6 this year, which is still more than a lot of other teams, so that's a good.
Yeah, and exactly, and also, you know, this is a match that we depend on ourselves to win. This is a title that we depend on ourselves to win. Unlike La Liga, you know, in La Liga, we're waiting for Barcelona to maybe lose a point there. But this one, we just have to beat Atletico, and we have the 11th, and that would be epic. I mean, this would be, you know, 2 Champions Leagues in 3 years. What more can you ask after the very dry period that we've had in titles?
And especially with Zidane as manager, and, you know, being in the job only 5 months, it would be legendary.
Yeah.
So we really hope it happens.
Yeah.
That's good. The bad. There's a little episode that happened yesterday in the mixed zone after the game with Kiko Casilla, where Catalan press started asking a question in Catalan. Well, so far so good. And then Kiko Casilla turned right to the press officer, or one of the people in charge of, you know, handling the press, and asked him if he was able to answer in Catalan, and the answer was no. And he looked, you know, kind of like estranged and didn't answer the question.
Yeah, and I think he ended up answering the question in Spanish. I mean, this is bad because we're used to Barcelona using politics, you know, or using their club to gain some political traction. It is true that Real Madrid is a very politicized club, but Real Madrid doesn't use politics normally as a tool for influence and stuff like that. And here, you know, it doesn't make sense that Real Madrid would do something like this. I think when you were talking to Iñaki, you were making the point that what if the player had been Russian or French? Zidane answers questions in the press conference in French every single press conference.
Yeah, and he's not looking to the right and answering like, am I allowed to answer in French? So this is clearly a mistake by the club, and, you know, kind of helping that story that these clubs are used in political ways, which I think personally no club should ever be used as a political instrument of any kind.
Absolutely, and also I think it's worth mentioning that Kiko Casilla is a native from Tarragona, which is in Catalonia.
And he speaks the language.
He speaks the language. Catalan is also, it's an official Spanish language. It's not that, you know, this is, the fact that it's not treated as any other language is here what we think
is wrong.
It's wrong, and that's why it deserves the bad in this section.
And, you know, especially because, I mean, they were asking him about the game. They were not going to ask him something about the referendum and the independence. It was just some football question about the game right after. So yeah, that's the bad. And the ugly is, you know, to stay in this kind of negative thing, the ugly is what's happening, what we are already seeing with the UEFA tickets for the final of the Champions League and how this is going to be handled. 25,000 tickets out of 71,000 as the stadium capacity for this game. 25,000 tickets are going to be given to UEFA to distribute for corporate, let's say, corporate responsibilities.
Yeah.
Not responsibilities, but corporate commitments.
Yeah, corporate commitments. This means that, you know, the UEFA they have sponsors with, they have Heineken, they have
Gazprom, MasterCard, a lot of, you know, big companies.
So a bunch of those guys, you know, there's a bunch of CEOs that are going to be getting, you know, 20, 50 tickets here and there, executives. And then also, you have to also think about the federations.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is 25,000 sure seems like a lot of tickets to be given to the UEFA, and it kind of puts the fans in a secondary place here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's more than a third of the stadium capacity for this fixture.
And I think that's what makes it ugly is, you know, like putting the fans in a second, you know, position, as you well said, and then, you know, like a lot of these people will just be given packs. It's like, okay, here's like 25 tickets to the final to people who are maybe not really interested in football. And what is making tickets so hard to get and so expensive, ridiculously expensive, is the fact that what is going to happen with these tickets? You know, like a CEO of a company that has nothing to do with football and maybe doesn't even like the game is given 30 tickets. Like,
Yeah.
what is he going to do with them? Like, I don't think, you know, like maybe it'll be fair to think that, you know, there'll be some like scalping and reselling the tickets.
Absolutely.
And these are the tickets that are trickling down to the fans that, you know, having or have to end up paying ridiculous amounts of money for, in the end, just watching a football game.
Yeah, I mean, even for you guys, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys, a lot of big Madridistas like you guys are looking into, you know, how the hell could I ever get to the Milan final? How could I buy tickets? Well, you know, the first time you look at how much they could be, you simply dismiss it because a lot of people are not willing to drop 1,200 euro, 1,300 euro, 2,000 euro for a ticket to this final. I mean, yeah.
I know I'm not. But anyway, Galacticos, that was the good, the bad, and the ugly of this week. We want to know what was the good, what was the bad, and what was the ugly for you. And we'll see you in the real news. Galacticos here to analyze the covers of the press, the real news. Let's go with Marca to start right away. Marca has a picture of Cristiano pidiendo calma and saying until the end, 88 and 87. No, don't get confused. This is not a basketball game. Is the amount of points that Barcelona have now and that Real Madrid have. So definitely we make it to the last match day of the league with possibilities of being champions. It's not that far-fetched. It would have been 2 months ago, and this is, you know, what makes me really excited is like 2 months ago or 3 months ago or a month and a half ago, nobody would have thought that Real Madrid would be fighting for this league. And now we are. And we're not only waiting for Barcelona to lose, you know, even a draw would be enough. So whatever it is that is not them winning, and us, of course, winning in La Coruña, would be enough. So, you know, hasta el final, you know, doing the play words with, you know, the chant of Real Madrid. Some pictures of what happened with Atletico, which surprisingly, so one of the things that makes me love football is 10 days ago, the very same team beat Bayern Munich, the, you know, also powerful Bayern Munich. And then, you know, they lose with Levante, which are the only team so far that is confirmed in relegation. And they lost their chances of winning a very tight league that now only we and Barcelona have. Also, you know, Luis Suarez celebrating 5-0 Barça against Espanyol. We were hoping for another tamudazo that, you know, never happened. Also talked about an emotional farewell from Arbeloa. Well-deserved Arbeloa. All the best for him wherever he goes, to the MLS or home and play with his kids in the garden, whatever. So the best of luck to you, Arbeloa. That's what Marca has to say. Let's go with sport. Sport, they don't go very deep into anything. They just put a picture of Messi saying flying to the league. Yeah, flying to the league. Well, you know, yeah, they were flying to the league 5 weeks ago. And, you know, they almost had to, as Iñaki well said in Spanish, do an emergency water landing or whatever that, you know, is not very likely now. They have to beat Granada in the last game. Is very, let's say, inside the chances of Barcelona to make that happen. But yeah, now they're flying to the league. Yeah, they're flying to the league. But well, good for them if they win it, you know, kudos to Barcelona. And let's go with Diario AS. Again, pretty much the same. All the information of Atletico losing and Barcelona winning 5-0. Real Madrid winning a tight game against Valencia. Also, Madrid will put the pressure on Barca until the end, definitely. You know, if Barcelona are not winning 4-0, you know, 30 minutes in the game in Granada, it will be very tense. And you never know. Some weeks ago we were thinking, kind of like making all those theories, what has to happen for Real Madrid to win the league. Barcelona have to, draw here and maybe lose here. Now it's very simple. It's all come down to Barcelona not winning a game in Granada. Very likely, a lot more likely than it was 5 weeks ago. All our chances. Now our chances are Barcelona not winning a game. We have seen that is possible, and maybe they don't win it. Hopefully we will win in Coruña, because if they don't win and we don't win either, then that won't be really cool at all. So more on the league and the drama of relegation also in the last match day, and the fight for the title, which again makes me really happy because it goes to prove that a league is a marathon. We've said it before, it's not a sprint. You have to be able to administer your resources for 10 months and not 8.5 months. Or we were not looking good in the mid-season, and now we are. Barca were looking amazing, the best team in history, but now they're not that great. So it's just that, it's a long marathon and it's not a sprint. And surprisingly, they don't have anything very racy today in the back cover. But we were not hoping for that. Anyway, Galacticos, we want to know what you think about the covers. Do you agree? Am I crazy? Are they crazy? Who's crazy? And follow me to the follow and follow section. Follow and follow of the week. Who to follow, who to unfollow, who behaved, who misbehaved on social media this week. Mateo, follow and follow.
I think you'll agree with me on this one too. I'm gonna give my follow to Alvaro Arbeloa. This guy, you may love him, you may hate him, you may agree that he's not, or in the last year or two, he hasn't been the best player in the world.
We agree on that,
played, but there is what you can never say about this guy is that he's not a humongous and a true Madridista. He's been through a bunch of managers. No manager has ever said anything negative about this guy. He's always known his position, even after, being a very important part in the dressing room. Now that he's kind of relegated back to like a second plane, almost third, not even playing.
Definitely on the pitch, but like he's kept that status as an important figure in the dressing room because of his experience. You cannot deny like the amount of things he has won also.
Absolutely.
A lot of people will remember, Arbeloa, the last 2 years, like he's some people would say like the cone, or there's a joke by Piqué, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, great professional. He's won World Cups, Euro Cups with the national team, Champions League titles. He's won everything.
Yeah, no, he's for sure a great symbol of Real Madrid. He's a player that has never complained when he's been, on the bench or not even called up for some matches. He's never complained. He's always shown that, he wants the best for the team. And really, that's all we can ask from a Real Madrid player.
Absolutely. So follow to Alvaro Arbeloa.
Unfollow, I'm going to have to give my unfollow to Guilherme Siqueira, the right back, I think, from Valencia. Left back from Valencia.
Some notes from production.
Yeah, production.
Left back.
So he posted this Instagram post of the team picture right before the match started in the Bernabeu. And then in the caption, it showed, you can see it here, hands going up and then a gun pointing at kind of a face, basically saying, hold your hands up, this is a robbery.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's fair to blame the referee for Valencia's defeat in the Bernabeu. I think that, yes.
You might have some wrong calls, but in favor of both.
In favor of both or against both.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Real Madrid, they won this match fair and square. It is true that it could have been 5-4 or 6-5 or 7-6, but I think that Real Madrid was the fair winner. I honestly think that they were the best team on the pitch, and it doesn't make sense like putting this picture out there and then crying about it and just being a bad and a sore loser.
And it's again like we always say, stop with blaming the referees for some defeats, and basically for every defeat. It's now it's okay, it's okay. If we lose, it was the referee's fault. And it's not cool. It's not cool at all.
Absolutely, and it also perpetuates, this notion that Real Madrid kind of buys the refs, or that the leagues are fixed, just like Simeone said, for Real Madrid to win them. So I don't think that he's doing anyone any favors, and I think he's just looking stupid in social media, to be honest.
So unfollow Guilherme Siqueira. My unfollow for this week. My follow is for Zinedine Zidane, a long-awaited follow because of all of of course, of what he's doing, but especially because when he came into the position, it was like we were throwing him like a ball on fire. It's like, here, Zinedine, no, you deal with it.
Yeah.
And like, very few people had faith in Zinedine. Very few people said, unexperienced, like he's gonna drown with the team and it's gonna be the end of his very short, coaching career. But he's proven that like he's up for the task. He's put us in the final of the Champions League, fighting for the league until the end. And he's definitely known like how to manage that ball on fire. And now everybody seems to be on the same page. He's doing an awesome job. Like the numbers are awesome in the league, in the Champions League. We might say that, okay, like Zidane promised a more, let's say, a more spectacular football to watch. And, he's also, I'm following him because he's also known how to adapt to the pieces he had of a dressing room and a team that he didn't put together.
Yeah.
And I think he's just doing an awesome job. So, Zinedine Zidane, follow for you.
Absolutely. Zidane has done a great job. He's really worked on the team defensively as well. He hasn't been afraid of putting the players that really deserve to play, to be in the starting 11. He's thrown Casemiro in there. He's for sure a starter. Lucas Vázquez, he's worked his ass off to be in the starting 11. He's shown him, he's been appreciative of the players that work hard. And I think that is a very important thing, especially in the Real Madrid values that Zidane has respected and he's enforced in the team. So, for sure.
Follow Zinedine Zidane. My unfollow is for John Terry this week, going outside the Real Madrid universe this week. John Terry in a Chelsea game against Sunderland last weekend, they were losing 3-2 in Sunderland. And in the 95th minute, at the end of the game, in this like kind of, out of impotence, he just like tackled horribly Kasri from Sunderland. Horrible, a straight red card. And he's probably going to be banned for the last two games of the Premier League, which will very likely be his last two games in Chelsea. 18 seasons, a legend at Chelsea, we don't think he's an example or a role model of good behavior on the pitch and off the pitch. But still, for the captain to very likely end his career like that, I think it's just horrible, man.
Yeah, what a way to go. Maybe our friends from Chelsea Fan Channel can maybe contextualize this.
Yeah, maybe we don't know enough.
Maybe we don't know the full story, but what we do know is that the challenge was horrible.
It was horrible and necessary.
Yeah.
And that he very likely will, end his career at Chelsea on the bench because of a red card. So, that's my own follow for John Terry. And, we hope you have enjoyed it. That was, the extended review for this week. Before we leave, to remind you that the fourth segment of this review will be videos of you fans sending us 30-second clips of why you are Real Madrid fans, your name, where you're from, and a little, and a little shout out, to the people, or to your friends, your people in your neighborhood, your school, whatever. And when we have enough, we have some, but not enough yet. We'll make a little compilation, and that will be the fourth section of this review.
We'll put it up on YouTube. We'll put it up on Facebook. Make sure you send everything that Vitaly said here. realgalacticos1@gmail.com. If you haven't done so yet, like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.